Let's talk about ancient times for a second. In ancient times, either through natural ability, meditation, mind-altering substances, conscious-altering compounds, things like that, there were sages, holy men, shaman, medicine men, priests, these folks back in the day that seemed to have the ability to, like I say, through these methods, to open this channel of communication to a higher realm, to beings that exist beyond our physical reality. You would go to them for advice. You know, kings and princes and war chiefs would go and ask their predictions for the future, things like that, and decisions were made off of this. Now, we don't really have that today, do we? Does anybody know where you can go get a sage? Holy man? Right there, like holy man, esquire. Okay. And I've been into some churches, I'm sorry. I'm not finding anybody that I think is communicating with anybody in most of the churches. Now, of course, maybe that's not true. I don't want an argument. Now, here's the thing, though. This ability to communicate with these other realms hasn't really gone away. It's with us now. It will be forever. It's a part of who we are, potentially what we're progressing toward. Some people still have the ability to do this. Some of you have heard me talk about, I think that some of our modern day prophets are songwriters and musicians that write some of this stuff into their song lyrics because it gets out to a wide audience. Plus the music helps. Things like Crosby, Stills and Nash's song, Southern Cross. It says in the lyric in there says, spirits are using me, larger voices calling in the refrain. Okay. Kansas, Carry On Wayward Son, another example in the refrain. It says, I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. Okay. So if you listen, it's in there. It's out there. And this communication is going on between people. Now, our next speaker graduated from Stephen F. Austin State University in Texas with a degree in microbiology. However, more relevant to our gathering today is that she realized at an early age that she had the ability that the ancient sages have. She has psychic abilities. And she has been able to tune into this cool radio station that the rest of us can't get, that has opened this line of communication between these higher realms and between these beings that exist there. The information she receives from her angels and guides are intended to be shared with all of humanity. That's why she's here today. That's why she speaks about these things and writes about them. She's the author of Star Children, Advice for Parents and Star Children, A Spiritual Evolution, and she writes articles to help raise awareness and consciousness on both environmental and spiritual issues, and she has appeared on several television shows as subject matter experts on psychic children. So please join me in welcoming Nikki Patillin.
Thank you, sir. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. If I could take a few seconds of your time, I would like to thank the late Miss Dolores Cannon, one of the most spectacular women I've ever met in my life, teacher of conscious awareness, author, psychic, and I wouldn't be here today sharing my message without her. Miss Dolores called me last year and asked me to come speak at the UFO conference this year. And I usually speak at the Spiritual Transformation Conference. And I said, Miss Dolores, I don't know anything about UFOs. That's not what I channel. And she said this group of people would be very interested in hearing about psychic children. And that's why I'm here today. So last night, I'm falling asleep. And in my typical style, I like to make things worse for myself. I thought, you know what, I'm going to change my speech tomorrow morning. Yeah, right? So I'm just drifting off. You know that last thing you think, oh my God, I need to shut off the TV. I was right there. And I hear, you know, and I wake up. It's one of my angels speaking to me, telling me I have free will, change my speech, do what I want. So I'm here today to do that. I'm mixing things up a little bit. I want to draw you guys into this and let you know how this relates to all of you. I have this joke with my angels, and I say 7.5 billion people in the world, 7.5 billion psychics. Everybody's a psychic. You know, everyone's making these predictions, but the truth is, it's actually true. Every single one of you here are psychic. Every single one of you. And I'm going to prove it to you. Okay, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Okay, it doesn't go like that. But it goes something like this. You haven't seen an old friend, maybe a family member, for ages. Maybe years, 5 years, 20 years. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they call you, they email you, they Twitter you, they Facebook you, whatever it may be. Because you had been connecting on a higher level. And I know this has happened to so many of you. You could also, and gentlemen, this little story's for you. You could be driving in a car with your wife. You know, you're going to go get a new lawnmower or something. And you're going to this new store, and your wife goes, you know, honey, I think we're supposed to exit here. But men, you know, you've got that on your mind, and your angels are telling you, you know, you should exit here. You need to listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. But it's that thought coming through your mind like your own thought. And it turns out you should have exited there. So it is, it's true. You know it happens. Ladies, we're usually right. But gentlemen, very psychic you are. And it's like a thought coming through your mind. And you need to grab that thought. I should exit here. Well, how do you know you should exit there? Your angels are telling you, so you need to grab that thought and look at it. I need to exit here. We also have something called Déjà Vu. And I've heard a lot of explanations about déjà vu. So I'll sit up here many times today and tell you about how I'm speaking my truth and what I channel with my angels. When we pass, we go to spirit, and there's still a lot of things going on while our souls are in spirit. We're still spiritually evolving. We're still learning lessons up there. We've got a planning committee that comes together that we meet with, often with our angels and guides, to plan our next lives. A lot of things going on. Before our soul comes into our body, and this usually happens while mom is pregnant, usually within the first few months, we go to this staging area. And we have some very wise old angels that are with us. And they're flashing things to us. They're flashing things like, you're going to move to this house. You're going to go to this school. This is going to be your best friend. This will be your first husband. This will be your second husband. This may be your third husband, you know, whatever it is, but they're flashing things to you. So then we're born, we're here on earth, and people often say, you know, I walked into this place and I just knew, I dreamed it. I'm going to walk in here, I'm going to see this woman in this red jacket. That's déjà vu. That's you remembering these flashes. Your angels want you to know that you're on the right path, and they're still working with you even while you're sleeping. That's when your mind is calm and they can come to you. But you are absolutely all psychic. You can all do what I do. Everybody can. Takes a little bit of training, but you can do it. So what is a light worker? A light worker is a soul who has chosen to come to this earth on a group mission to help all living and non-living things on it. They possess special extrasensory abilities. Sometimes they're psychic. They can also be musicians. Light workers move in several ways. And why are they here? They're here because we have hemmed ourselves into systems that no longer serve the good of humanity. Our earth is in a little bit of trouble right now. Systems of government, of healthcare, schools, name it. There's so many different ways that we are doing things wrong, and we must change. So they're working very hard, and I call them the cavalry. They're sending groups of psychic children here. And I'm going to say children, I'll use that term, but I'm also talking about young and adults of today. So don't let that word children throw you off. The first group that the angels are sending in are the Indigo Children. Indigo Children started arriving about 1970. And I often ask my angels, why didn't they come before? before Afghanistan, before the Gulf War, Vietnam, Korean War, World War II, World War I, the Holocaust, name something. I just don't know what took them so long to get here. But the angels have told me 100 years ago, the energy on this earth was much different. It was a much more dense energy. And literally these beings of higher vibrational frequency could not sustain themselves. And they often passed back into spirit. But slowly, one by one, they started coming through and changing these vibrational frequencies. There's a woman named Nancy Ann Tapp who wrote a book over 30 years ago called Discovering Your Life Through Colors. And she's the one who started noticing about 100 years ago that auras around people begin to change. I have a 11-year-old little girl, and I do this little, I tell her with her and her friends, oh, it's a psychic trick. Let's see if you're psychic. It's really not. But if you stand and shut out the lights and put a flashlight on you, you're going to see this little energy that's around your body, and it'll look like it's about an inch around it. And this is your aura, part of your aura. I call it sometimes an ethereal body. It is your vibrational frequency. It's your energy. It's who you are. And the words that you speak, the actions that you take, and even the thoughts that you think affect this vibrational frequency. So, Indigo Children, they are our first wave of the cavalry who is coming to help this earth. They started to arrive in the 1970s, and I call them the trailblazers. These children are spectacular. They are the warriors of today, and they have some very specific traits that go with them. They are often angry. Indigo children are often angry children. And parents will say to me, I don't know why they're so angry. And I can only tell you what my angels tell me. They're angry because they're supposed to be angry. Because sometimes when you get mad, change comes about more quickly. Sometimes when you get mad, things happen faster. And that's why they're coming first, because things need to happen more quickly. And they're also spiritual warriors, not just because they're angry, because they're here, they're the first wave to tear down our old paradigms and our old ways of doing things. They want to ferret out lies. They want to expose the truth. Other things about indigo is they often suffer from ADD or ADHD. And I'm going to speak my truth again here because I often hear psychics saying, don't medicate them. Oh, you're going to ruin them forever. They won't be able to fulfill their destiny, their mission. And that's just not true. And I'll tell you why. Does it lower their vibrational frequency? Just a little bit. Yes, it does. But I am a closet sugar eater. I am, and I admit to it. And my husband says, quit eating all that sugar. I'm a runner, so I say I'm good. I can eat the sugar because I'm running. But not true. My angels tell me it's actually lowering my vibrational frequency and inhibiting my effectiveness the way I channel. But I tell them many lives on this earth, going back to, I was a caveman, 12,000 BC, I was a woman in Egypt. My last life, I was a soldier in the Civil War. This is my first life with sugar, you guys. Like, this is a bonus, right? And I know it's affecting me. I know it is. Let me get my finger just right. Does that look like about 1 millimeter to you, sir? My husband tells me I'm bad at math, but it just a little bit. So the same thing is true for the indigo children. Medicating them may change their vibrational frequency just a little bit, But they're still going to go on and be able to do what they need to do. They will still be able to channel. They will still be able to ferret out lies. Another thing about indigo children is they often suffer from depression. And it's really sad because I get a lot of emails throughout the year from indigo young adults saying, I don't understand this earth. These people are crazy. I don't know why I'm here. I know I'm here for a reason. And that's a number one thing I hear from star children is this common theme that they know that they're here. They know they're here for a reason. They're just not sure what that reason is. I forgot about this. So what happens is these souls that have agreed to come here on this group mission are from all areas of the universe. Some souls have reincarnated here on this earth over and over again. Others have not. Others come from other areas in the universe. And my angels joke with me about this group mission, that they're looking down going, you want us to go there? They're killing themselves down there. Are you kidding me? But they are souls that are brave enough and strong enough to come on this mission. And sometimes they forget that. They forget that when they first start out. Often indigos have hard lives when they're very young. This is because they come from places where it's completely peaceful, where they can manifest anything they want or they need instantly. And they're just not used to this three-dimensional earth. So they agree, we all agree to our lives. Every single one of us here have agreed to what we're going to do, what spiritual lessons we're going to work on, how we're going to spiritually progress. So they agreed to come into harder families. This helps them connect them more readily to our old, outdated systems. They need to get connected fast. So they have it hard very young in their lives. So they are our warriors. Another thing about indigos is they will not react to guilt. They just won't do it. You cannot guilt these psychic children. I have one. I want you to know I have tried to guilt her on many occasions. It's probably worked once or twice, not too many times. But they're about seeing the truth, about ferreting out lies. And these kids will not react to guilt. So the thing about anger with these children is it's okay to be angry. That's all right. What's not okay is to hurt anyone. It's not okay to say bad things about anyone, and it's not okay to think that you wish someone was dead. That's not okay. So it's a little bit of a sticky wicket with these kids. You need to make sure they're walking that fine line of anger. You know, it's putting that fire in them, wanting to make change, wanting to tackle these big systems and change them. But they need to do it in peaceful ways. And I see this a lot. I see it with people marching and picketing. I'm happy to see that. You know, there's so many other things we can do. So, if you have an indigo child, I just want to go over a couple of things that is going to help you with that child. First of all, you need to respect them. You need to treat them like you would like to be treated, and you need to practice unconditional love with them. You also need to give these kids choices. They need to feel like they have control of their own life. So you need to give them choices and make sure that they can come up with their own consequences. You know, Sam, if you don't do this, what do you think your consequences should be? Because doing this is very important. Never say just because or I said so to these kids, because they're about seeing the truth. They want to know a reason why. You need to let them make their own rules and fair consequences. Don't talk down to them. They're not from around here. They're here to help. So listen to them. They really have important things to say. We need to provide emotional support for them. We need to teach them about privacy, respecting others. In our own lives as parents, we need to admit when we're wrong. It's okay to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong about that. That's my mantra. I say that a lot. Appreciate their strengths and be willing to learn from them. I know that's hard. These kids are really important, you guys. They really are. Okay, so Indigos started coming about 1970. They won't react to guilt. They're often angry. They are often diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, and they often suffer from depression. If you are a parent of one of these children, young adults or adults, please know that you agreed to help them, for them to be your child and to nurture them. And you're part of that big mission too. By bringing them here, you are absolutely here to help as well. So Jan Tober and Lee Carroll have come up with a list. If you answer at least 10 to any of these questions, you are yourself an indigo, or your child or your grandchild. Did your child come into the world acting like royalty? Do they have this feeling that they deserve to be here? Do they have an obvious sense of self? Do they have difficulty with discipline and authority? Ding, 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 this is a big thing with indigo kids. They have a big problem with authority because there are spiritual warriors and they're here to change things. Do they refuse to do certain things they're told to do? Is waiting in line torture for your child? Is there a better way that they tell you that there's a better way of seeing or doing things? Are they a nonconformist? Do they refuse to respond to guilt trips? You guys need to remind me. I'm looking up going, that's not matching what I'm saying. Okay, we're almost on the next slide now. Number 11, does your child get bored easily with assigned task? That's part of the ADD or the ADHD. They have a lot of energy, and we need to teach them to focus. I remembered. Does your child display symptoms of attention deficit disorder? That's another big clue with these kids. Are they creative? Do they display intuition? Do they have a strong empathy for others? My daughter often cries when we watch the news. Do they have abstract thinking at a young age? Are they intelligent? Are they talented? I want you to know that any of these three groups of psychic children, you know, they didn't come in this world just to be psychic. There are so many ways to change people's vibrational frequency. I often talk about music. Listening to music can change your vibrational frequency. Appreciating art. Walking on the beach in the moonlight. There are so many different ways we can raise our vibrational frequency. And if you think about it, if you strum a single guitar string, always the strings next to that one string will begin to vibrate at that higher vibrational frequency. So music does change us. It does raise our vibrational frequency. Are they daydreamers? Do they have old, deep, wise-looking eyes? And does your child have spiritual intelligence? And that's just the skills and the abilities that they empower, their psychic abilities to help change us. So here we go. Things are coming in now. I'm ready. So I'm getting some things now about angels coming in from group consciousness, from y'all's angel. And I want you to know that you guys can order any angel that you want. There are billions of angels. All of us have 1 to 3 angels that are with us our whole life, as well as 1 to 3 guides. And we have others that come and go as we learn our spiritual experiences, but always 1 to 3, and they're often with us for many lives, not just this one life. But because of this earth thing called free will, they can't always come in and help you. You often need to ask for their help. So I'm getting now that the angels want you to know, ask for any angel that you want. I order a parking angel at Christmas time at the mall. I'm not kidding you. I don't need a good spot. I just need a spot, right? I need my car to be safe. Tax time, I order a tax angel. If you're driving on a trip, ask for a protection angel to come be with you. It really works. My husband was flying to India quite a few years ago, and something was not sitting right with me. I was really getting worried about him hurting himself or something happening to him. And I ordered up an angel for him, a big old protection angel. And about a week before he left, I woke up one morning to a noise, and this angel stuck his head through my wall. His head was literally 5 foot big, and his wings were sticking out. That's all that would fit into my room. And I got scared. It scared me. I said, okay. And then I realized this was this protection angel that I'd ordered for my husband. He was letting me know that he was here and he was ready to go. It really works, you guys. So sorry for getting off track there. So, the next wave of children that are coming through are called the crystal children. Crystal children are very different from indigos. I'm going to read a little bit here because I've channeled this. I don't want to mess it up. Their main purpose is to take us to the next level in our evolution and reveal to us our inner and our higher power. They function as a group consciousness rather than as individuals, and they live by the law of one. And the law of one simply states, if we hurt each other or hurt our environment, we are also hurting ourselves. It's also tied in very closely with the law of karma. If you do something not nice to someone else, something not nice will happen to you. It works very closely together. These kids are excited to be here on this group mission. They really are. They have a very high level of consciousness. Oh my God, here we go again. Okay, so I'm getting something coming in now. This is the fun part where I wanted to change my speech, you guys. Here it comes. I love channeling in groups. I really am getting quite good at this. I'm getting the angels are talking about vibrational frequencies. So I'll stop what I'm doing very quickly and talk about how to raise and to lower your vibrational frequency. Of course, we want to raise our vibrational frequency. It helps us connect to our higher power, whatever that may be. It helps us to communicate with our angels and our guides. So the fastest way to raise your vibrational frequency is just by being grateful. Grateful for things that happen in your life. The angels want you to know that this earth is tough. It really is. They tell me it is one of the toughest planets in this universe. And souls that choose to reincarnate on this earth over and over are some of the most advanced spiritual souls around. So we did agree to come here, and it is tough. So as I say that, I want you to know good and bad things happen in all our lives. We would not be moving forward in our spiritual evolution if we were not having the yin and the yang of everything. So when we say thank you for things, it's not just for the good things. Thank you for the best friend that you've sent me. Thank you for my husband. But we often have to say thank you to the difficult things. Thank you for my difficult family members. Thank you. It's teaching me lessons about forgiveness. Thank you for my time with my grandmother before she passed. I learned how to love unconditionally from her. So even sad things in our life, we should be thankful for. The angels tell me the quickest way to lower your vibrational frequency is by being judgmental. And I know that there are so many groups here, I won't get into, but there's people here teaching us lessons right now about not being judgmental. We should not judge anyone. We do not know what their spiritual lessons are. We don't know what they agreed to come and do with their angels, things that they are meant to experience, how they are supposed to spiritually evolve, and lessons that they teach us. When you find yourself judging someone, I've done it too. Every time I'm cut off on the freeway, I get so mad, you guys. And I do. And my angels keep, and you're like judging someone, right? And the angels keep telling me, don't worry, they're in a hurry, let them go. Sit in your peaceful spot. I know it's hard to do. It's hard for me too, and I'm psychic. I'm telling you, it is. It's tough. So try not to be judgmental. It lowers your vibrational frequency. It puts you further away from your angels and your guides and whatever your higher power is. Thank you, angels. I love that they interject that stuff. So I'm talking about crystal children that came in 1990, the first major wave of them. They're still coming in today, but the biggest wave came in around 1990. They are loving and forgiving children, but please do not think that this is a sign of weakness. These children are not weak. They are here from other parts of the universe on this mission. And we often think people that are loving and kind are weak. That is not true. It is just not true. And just as indigos don't react to guilt, crystal children do not react to fear. They are absolutely fearless. Not just of heights, because they're not afraid of heights, but they're fearless of people, of taking on situations, of trying new things. Absolutely fearless. Another thing about crystal children is they are instant manifestors. And we're all manifestors too. Every single one of you can manifest anything you want or you need in your life. And it's very easy to do. I'll tell you how I do it. I just take a couple of deep breaths and I think about in my mind what I want, whatever it is. And it can absolutely be a materialistic possession. Maybe you're looking for a boyfriend. Whatever it is, whatever you want or need, you can manifest. So if you take some deep breaths and clear your mind, think about this. Think about what you want or you need. Then I want you to pretend like it's happening. Feel it, smell it, think it, touch it. Pretend like it's happening in your mind. Run it like a movie. And then take this energy into your body and pretend like it's happening. These things are going to happen to me tomorrow. Now, you guys, please don't try and manifest an ice cap floating past Florida. It's just not going to happen. You need to manifest something that could truly come true with you. And I challenge all of you to start doing this right away. Start with something small in your lives. Start manifesting things. It really does work. So I'll just tell you a minute about my daughter, who is a crystal child. One day, she was about 4 years old, and we were outside playing. These psychic children, you need to keep outside. They are very connected to nature, connected to plants, rocks, anything outside. And she said, "Mom, I want a feather." "No, I want 2 feathers, Mom." And it was about lunchtime, and I said, "Okay, well, let's go eat lunch, take our nap, and we'll come back outside and look for feathers." And came upstairs, fed her some lunch, put her down for an hour nap. She got up and she said, "Mom, my feathers are ready." So I said, "Okay, let's go look for your feathers." And we're walking down the steps of our beach house. And right there, down from the bottom step on the first little bit of concrete, are not 1 but 2 feathers. And she picked him up and she said, "Thank you." I don't know who she was thanking her angels or her guides, and was dancing around. Instant manifestors. Okay, so crystal children tend to have large communicative eyes and an intense stare. They are highly affectionate little souls, they really are. And don't forget, I'm also talking about young adults and adults of today. They begin speaking later in life, and this is because they don't need to. I get a lot of email about, I know I have this gifted child, I'm worried. They're doing puzzles, they're obviously very bright, but they're not talking. And they're not talking because they don't need to talk. They're communicating psychically. And that's why they often don't really start speaking till they're 3, 4, maybe even 5 years of age. They just don't need to. They love music. They may even sing before they start talking. They're extremely connected to animals and nature. They're often interested in rocks, crystals, stones. They're artistic. They're sensitive. They're forgiving. They're generous. God, I wish I was this kid. People are very drawn to them. People are drawn to these children. People can feel their vibrational frequency is different and often come up and speak with them. They've got a good sense of balance. They're fearless. They're able to communicate with their angels and guides very young in life. So I'll tell you another story about us. We had a house next door that I knew was very haunted. I hated going in that house, I really did, but our neighbors were our friends. So sometimes we'd go over there and have a glass of wine, and I could feel some really bad things in the house. And stuff started getting bad for them, like I knew it would. They were doing drugs, they were drinking too much. Someone got checked into a psychiatric ward. Another girl hung herself in the closet. And this was all these entities that were in this house. Well, after Ike, the house went into foreclosure, and we bought it, tore it down, and enclosed it on our fence. And I started getting message from my angels that some things are going to be happening. Don't worry, we're sending you help. Because I knew what was going on over there, right? Thanks for that message. Well, it wasn't long after that that I started seeing a ghost in my house. And I didn't tell my husband or my daughter. I didn't want to scare them. But my daughter came to me one day and said, "Mommy, there's a man at the bottom of my bed." And I knew what she was talking about. And I said, "Babe, what does he look like? Is he tall? Is he short?" And she told me he was tall and he had yellow hair. And I knew this was one of the 2 entities that were in the house. And I said, "Babe, I know he's here. Don't worry, Mom's gonna get rid of him." So, but I did. I actually got rid of that one. I kept telling him he didn't belong here. Go into the light. You don't belong here. It works on the TV, but it works in real life too. But there was something a little more sinister that I saw, and it was this sort of human body with this dog face and these ram ears. Oh, you guys, it was really scary. And my daughter kept telling me that she was still really scared. And I said, "Babe, I know, Mom's working on it." I could not get rid of this thing in my house, but she could see it. She was psychic. She knew it was there. Listen to your kids. If they tell you that there's something in your home, there may be something in your home. Just to end that story, I ended out reaching to my psychic mentor. Her name is Myra Logan, a phenomenal woman. She's an animal communicator. And I said, "I have something in my house. I cannot get rid of it." And she told me to call this man named Joey Korn with a K. So I picked up the phone, called Joey. Joey's a spiritual dowser. And even as a psychic, I don't know how he does this because I can do remote viewing. But Joey actually takes your address and takes your house and lays the energy of your house over the energy of his house. And he uses these dowsing rods. It looks for portals that are open, and he closes the portals. Don't know how he does it, but oh my God, he got rid of that thing in my house. Couldn't be happier. Bad news is it came back 8 months later, and I had to call him again. I said, Joey, this thing's back in my house again. So he said, okay, well, let me try something else. And my God, he did whatever magic that he did, and he got rid of it. It hasn't come back. It's been 7 years, and that thing is gone. But listen to your children. They're psychic. If they say something's in your house, something's in your house. Okay, they often see spirits, guides. They dislike stress or environments that are a lot of distractions, and that's concerts. We've all had children. I have suffered through Taylor Swift, boy bands where I've literally come out deaf because 80,000 screaming girls are screaming. They love going, but it bothers them. I notice that my daughter's always a little off kilter. Fun going, so sometimes they want to keep pushing forward because they're fearless. But sometimes you've got to rein them back in. You really do. They don't like unnatural lights. They'll choose their own meals. They tend to eat pretty healthy. Specifically for indigo and crystal children, it's sort of you are what you eat. And then my angels are talking about my sugar. I know. Practice what you preach. They're talking to me. They just came in. So this is true for indigo and crystal. It helps raise their vibrational frequency. Not true of rainbow children. Rainbow children can eat whatever they want. It doesn't affect them at all, but we'll get to that in a second. They often speak about universal love and healing, even as a young age. They have healing gifts. You may see them like doing energy work over your animals. They naturally know that they can do this. They don't react well to sugar, caffeine, unnatural foods. They don't like to fight. And they will not stay in an argument. They're just loving and forgiving children. They put a period and they move on. Great trait to have. They have telekinesis. Some children around this world are able to move things. I have never seen a child that's been able to do that. I've seen some stuff on YouTube that I know to be true. My angels have shown me that what they're doing is really real. They amplify our emotions. So as a parent of a crystal child, you need to check yourself because whatever you're going through, they're just going to mirror back to you. If you're in a bad mood, they're going to be in a bad mood too. If you're in a good mood, they're going to be in a good mood. They're not real good with electrical devices, and one thing I noticed about crystal children is they tend to drain batteries very quickly. They have a high vibrational frequency, so they will go through batteries and whatever electronics they're using at an amazing pace. They're clingy to their parents until 4 or 5. They often stare at people for long times. It's not because they're being rude. They are just assessing other people's energy. You know, they're all about universal love. And I often find my daughter staring at people, and I'll kick her, don't stare. And she's not, she's simply just assessing energy. So I say, you know, look away and think about their energy. I play games with her. I ask her, what do you feel about this person? You know, what are you seeing? This helps her develop her psychic skills. They can throw tantrums. They're easily overstimulated. Again, they have no trouble with fear or worry. They're just fearless children. They enjoy discussing spiritual and philosophical topics. And they may appear to be looking at nothing or talking to no one, but actually they are. They may be talking to their angels or guides. I know sometimes I zone out when my angels are showing me things, because sometimes I can see things like movies. So I know sometimes I'll zone out for just a minute. That's because I'm watching a movie of something that's going to happen or something I need to know about. They have loose ethereal bodies. I talked to you about this earlier, how we have these auras, this energy, this vibrational frequency. So once again, I'm going to stand here before you and speak my truth. These children are very susceptible to vaccinations. I don't care what the FDA says. I don't care what the CDC says. All I know is what my angels tell me. They are souls with a higher vibrational frequency and are not used to these toxins that we're putting in our body. And it is no surprise to me that autism is on the rise. I think the last statistic I had read was like 300%. Yeah, it's on the rise, because we got people here helping, guys. We do. Higher vibrational frequency. I just read on CNN just a couple weeks ago that the CDC is thinking about allowing people to space out their vaccinations. I know all of you have had them, and I'm a firm believer that we should be vaccinated. We should. I myself had Reiki treatment done on my daughter just before and just after she was vaccinated to help get those toxins out of her body more quickly. So if you think you have a child that may be psychic or a grandchild, think about taking them to some energy treatments when they're very young, even as babies. So I'm happy to hear, because I think spacing out vaccinations will help them. It won't bombard them. So what happens is, it's true of all of us, you hear about our higher self. Not all of our soul is in our body. Some of our higher self is outside of our physical realm, helping us and guiding us, just like our angels and our guides. And when we put these vaccinations, it pushes more of their souls out of their bodies. And that's how we're getting autism. Because the piece of the soul that's supposed to be in here has come out. And it's okay. I think we're still learning lessons from these kids with autism, these brave souls who have agreed to come here. And we're messing it up, you guys. But we can still learn about love and tolerance and acceptance of others, no matter how different you are. And I'm here at a UFO conference, so you guys know about that, right? Yeah, speak your truth. You know, I thought Tom was so brave getting up here, telling his story about his family and getting abducted. It takes a lot of strength and courage to do that. I applaud him for that. It really is, because you open yourself up to being judgmental, and that hurts when you're getting judged. So the kids, the crystal children, they're fearless. They're all about the law of one and universal love. They can often become autistic early in their lives. Not all the time, but a lot of them. And they're clingy, and I channeled this, so if you excuse me, I'm going to read this to you. Crystal children require a great deal of physical attention, which involves being held and touched in loving and nurturing ways. Crystals are so loving and gentle that they need a lot of love from their parents, their families, and their caregivers. Their needs include a great deal of physical contact that is more than just touching or holding. There's a strong energy exchange with physical contact, and from that they get reassurance that they need to know that they are here at the right time, that there is love for them, and that they will be safe. This will help them meet their needs. They need to be held, and not just to know that they're loved. They need that energy exchange. They feed on it, because these kids are all about love. You guys forgot to remind me about my slide again. Okay, my fault. Please excuse me. Crystal children, they're moving into our hearts, and they're upgrading our energy systems. Indigos are tearing down these old paradigms and the old ways of doing things. And crystal children are literally laying down a new energy grid that we're all going on to, whether we realize it or not. And I'll talk about transitioning energy in just a minute. But we are all moving onto a new energy grid, whether you realize it or not. We're all moving up to the 10.0 system, whatever computer system we're on now. What do we learn from them? We learn messages of the heart and how to forgive and exercise tolerance and to live our lives in love and loving unconditionally. And I know that's hard. I got those same family members you do. It is. Sometimes it's hard to love them, you know it. Sometimes we have to pull back and look at the whole being. Sometimes people are in pain and they lash out in anger, and maybe they're lashing out at you. But take this from your angels, that you just look at them, that they're in pain and they're suffering. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't gotten there yet, but they will. They will. Love them unconditionally. So, Indigos, tearing down our outdated systems. They're angry, ADD, ADHD, often suffer from depression, don't react to guilt. Next wave are the crystal children. Please remember, these are also young adults and adults of today. I just get as many emails from 40-something-year-olds as I do from teenagers. And I want you to know, in my last slide, I'll have my website. You can Google me, and on my website, there's a contact page, and you can email me if you have any questions after this conference. If there was something you wanted to ask you didn't get to ask, please email me. I answer every single one of my emails. If you don't hear from me in a week, don't worry. It's because I haven't had time to sit down and answer them. But please feel free to contact me at any time. I do answer those emails. Rainbow children started arriving in 2010. I'm sorry, we're getting something coming in again. The angels want you to know not to be afraid. Angels come in many shapes and sizes. They're telling me, it's not just because we're at a UFO conference, but many of you people here are having different experiences. This is why this is coming in. I see the picture now. Some of you have very different angels and guides. You are here as a group having, like I said, different experiences. Your angels want you to know that they come in many different ways. We've all been to church. We all know how angels are portrayed with wings and halos, and they're these beautiful angelic creatures, the God's right-hand side, the archangels. But that's not true. They don't all look like that. A lot of angels, and I know this, thank you angels, over 50% of angels, and I myself have channeled, okay, excuse me 1 second, I'm just confirming with them, about 70% of angels actually don't have wings. They don't. But sometimes they come to you how you think they should look, because they don't want you to be scared of them. Sometimes when you ask to see an angel and they first appear, it can be a little scary, like in my experience with the angel that I ordered for my husband, but it goes way back before then. I actually have an angel that appears to me when I'm very sad. And this angel comes to me and looks like a glob of liquid mercury. Very powerful angel. The angel will come above me in this sort of liquid state, and there's flashing lights in her. And males tend to be not male or female, they just are. But I know this angel actually has more female, more feminine energy. And I'll tell her what I'm sad about. So the last time she came to me, we had to put our lab down, our lab of 12 years. We were in tears. We still cry. You guys know your animals are like your babies too. You really cry when you have to put them down. So sad, having a hard time energetically getting through it. Couldn't channel for the longest time. So this angel came to me and I said, I'm really sad about my dog. Arnie, can you please help me? And for the first time, I actually saw what she does to me. I get this lightning bolt And it's like a fuzzy gray lightning bolt that actually hits me somewhere around my belly button. I come off the bed a little bit. It doesn't hurt, but it doesn't feel good either. It's the only way I know how to explain that. But instantly, I get an overwhelming feeling of peace and love and beauty for all things in the universe, even rapists and murderers. And I know without a doubt that this is the feeling that you feel when you pass back into spirit and go back to your soul groups. You're back to that feeling of complete love, nothing but love. I recently just channeled for my third book. The angels are talking about kindness, how being kind to others is really important. And they also talked about being the love. We need to be the love. It'll help us spiritually advance. But angels aren't always what you think they are. I've got a liquid Mercury angel. That's kind of scary, it is. But knowing what she brings to me is an amazing thing. So please order an angel, but don't be scared for what appears to you. Don't be scared. I just want to tell you that some souls agree to come here with more difficult lives. They do. They do because they're brave and they're strong. And I want you to know that you spiritually advance more quickly with a challenging life. Your angels want you to know that. I know things are harder for you, but your soul agreed to come here, to be in this wheelchair, because you are going to spiritually advance in this life like 10 lifetimes in one life. It may seem like a bad thing sometimes, but it's not. Look at the higher picture. I'm sorry, that keeps coming in. It's distracting me a little bit. So I thought if I got you that message, then you would know about that. So thank you for being so brave and strong. You are going to go far, my friend. Trust me. I keep thinking I want to be a rock star in my next life. What do I have to do to be a rock star? Can't sing worth a hoot, would love it. I don't know, we'll see. These kids recover from this state of negative emotions very quickly. Again, strong personalities, instant manifestors, even better than the crystal children. I'm sorry, how are we doing on time? 4:30. Okay, I'm still good, because I want to leave plenty of time for questions. They see auras, so they're very connected to color. Some characteristics of rainbow children. Very few of them are here. More and more are just starting to come. They tend to have healthy families, so they tend to have parents that are crystals or some sort of type of light worker. Often, they have never incarnated before. Remember, some of these souls are from different parts of the universe, and they come with no karma. That is so they can work on what they need to work on to help us. So the angels have set it up that these souls don't have to work on any karmic boomerang or work on spiritual progressing. They are simply here to help. I bet they get to eat sugar. They don't choose dysfunctional families. They're all about service. Being in service to others. And this is actually another way to raise your vibrational frequency, not just by being thankful for good and bad things in your life, but by being in service to others. And it doesn't mean you have to go volunteer somewhere. Maybe you're standing in a doctor's office next to a perfect stranger that needs to talk about something. Sometimes just by lending an ear, you're helping someone else. Sometimes people just need to speak a little bit. They have big eyes, they're fearless, they have exceptional healing abilities. They do Reiki and Qigong and pranic healing, which is literally just moving energy around people's bodies. I haven't been downstairs to the vendors. Are there any healers down there? Do you guys know? Are there? I'll have to go and check that out. That's pretty exciting. They are incredibly hyperactive. The emails that I get from the few people I know that do have rainbow children say their rainbow children do not sleep. And the angels can confirm this. They have a lot of energy. They don't sleep. And again, I channeled this. I'm going to read it. I want to make sure I get it right. The purpose of the rainbow children is to complete the final stages of the foundation that the indigo and the crystal children have made. These 3 children, and also young adults and adults, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of you here today, each have a specific task. The indigos are about tearing down outdated systems, the old paradigms. Crystals are about upgrading our energy systems, and the rainbows are about bringing us all together. Now, there are still a lot of indigos coming in today. We still need them. That cavalry is still coming in. That's out of order. So let me talk quickly, before I run out of time, about transitioning energy. And as we move on to these newer energy grids that these special souls are laying down for us, you will feel many different things. And I know every one of you has felt one or more of these. A sudden extreme sensitivity to people and an environment, increased psychic ability and awareness. Let me roll my eyes. 7 billion psychics. You guys are all psychic. It's absolutely true. Just a joke between me and my angels. But it is true. Every single one of you here are seriously psychic. Increased sensitivity that can lead to panic attacks. I just recently started feeling that. I never had a panic attack in my life, but like this worry about the world and I need to get out there and get things done is causing me a lot of anxiety. But I know this is just part of my transitioning energy. If you feel this too, you will move through it. Please don't worry. You can find yourself zoning out as you upgrade your energy system. You may have anxiety about humans or things being destroyed on this earth, an obsession or a need to understand what is really going on in this life. Why are we here? Like the spiritual reasons. What are we doing here? What is this all for? This earth is hard. It's a hard place, you guys. It really is. It's tough. A tough, tough place. But as souls coming here, you will become so much better, so much more advanced. Depression for no reason, disruptive sleep patterns. I myself have not slept in 11 years for a solid amount of time. I hope that doesn't happen to you. I keep thinking I'll get through this. I feel this strange electrical sensations on your body. Has anyone felt that? Yeah, I've been feeling that recently. It's kind of weird. A whole range of other sensations that have to do with detoxification. You may be dizzy or spacey. Let me suck in my stomach. You may put on weight. You may get hungry. Psychics, we burn a lot of mental and emotional energy. It makes us want to eat sugar. All right. Your ability to see beyond the veil. You guys will maybe see loved ones who have passed on. Gosh, if I had a quarter of every time I went to a party and said, I've never told anyone this. So I want you to know, come find me this weekend. I'm here all weekend. Tell me your stories. I want to hear them. It makes me a better psychic. It makes me a better author. So if you have any stories you'd like to share, I would love to hear them. So the ultimate goal, again, I channeled this. Let me read it so I don't mess it up. In spiritual ascension is to align ourselves with a higher source and to keep our vibrational frequencies at a higher level, to help you live out your life's purpose and to find the special gifts and talents that you have to offer. Because we are all here for a reason, you guys. As I talk about other things, I'm just going to let you read this because I really want to leave time for questions. But if you're a parent or a grandparent or a friend or an aunt or an uncle of someone you know who is psychic, you can do things to help them. I wrote that because growing up a psychic child, I was so lost. I was born in '66, and growing up through elementary school, middle school, high school, I knew that I could see and hear things that other people could not see and hear, and I was terrified. My parents thought I was crazy. You know, now that I look back, I wish I could have told that kid, it's gonna be okay, you're here for a reason. And that's a number one thing that I hear from other psychic children, young adults and adults, is they know that they're here for a reason. They may not know what that reason is, but they just know that they're here for something. I think there's one other slide there. Oops, sorry, I'll go back one. There's a famous parable that goes something like this. A man is walking down the beach, and he sees a young boy picking up a starfish and throwing it into the ocean. And the beach is literally littered with thousands of these starfish. And he walks up to the young boy and says, "What are you doing?" And the boy says, "I'm saving these starfish." And the man says, "For what? There's thousands of them. Your actions will not make a difference." And the boy thinks for a second, and he picks up the next starfish and he throws it into the ocean. He says, "Sir, you are wrong. My actions will make a difference for that starfish." So the man helps the boy, picking up starfish, throwing them into the ocean. And when the sun rises the next morning, all the starfish have been saved. Your angels want you to know that each and every one of you are important. Each and every one of you make a difference. We are all threads in this master tapestry. Every action that you take either adds or takes away from the light of humanity. Every word that you speak either adds or takes away from the light of humanity. And every thought that you think either adds to or takes away from the light of humanity. I don't care if you mop floors. I worked at UTMB as a molecular biologist for a while. I say this because there was a woman there that cleaned the labs. Lovely lady. I was so attracted to her, something about her energy. Come to find out, she had started this recycling thing in her community. You know, she wasn't just mopping floors, you guys, she was doing other important things. So I don't care what you do. Every single one of you is important. And your angels want you to know this. I thank you so much for being here today. I love people. Come give me a hug. Please come tell me your story. I want to hear them. I'm around all weekend. And I know there's the podium there. I'm happy to take any questions you may have. And please feel free to ask me about anything. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know there's a lot of grandparents here that are also raising their children. So I want you to know your grandparents. If you're a grandparent raising a child, you're very important. They're meant to be with you.
So I'm wondering if you have any sense as to how many children born in any particular year are one of these or part of the group of them.
Okay, so we have more indigos, and I know my angels tell me that more indigos are coming in because they thought they had enough. There's millions of them all over the world, but that's not enough. So the crystals started coming, and then they realized we needed more warriors. We need more angry souls tearing down these old paradigms and these old systems. So there's a phenomenal amount of indigo children. And you see them everywhere. You know, they're suffering from depression. They have often diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, but there's a lot of indigos.
We talking like 5%? 50%?
Oh, what percentage of the population?
Yeah.
Oh, not that many.
In 1 year.
In any 1 year that are coming in, okay, I'm sorry, give me just 1 second. 1 to 3%, 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children. 1 to 3 out of 100 are indigo children are these 3 specific types of light workers. Now, don't forget, there's all different kinds of light workers, you guys, not just indigo, crystal, and rainbow children's. I'm a light worker, and I'm not one of them. So there's many different kinds, but specifically of these types of psychic children, I'm getting 1 to 3%, or 1 to 3 out of 100. Yes, sir?
Yes. I know you said you weren't necessarily a ufology expert, but this kind of falls with your expertise in kids. I wanted to know if you could channel information about the black-eyed children phenomenon.
Yes, oh great. So I don't channel about the black-eyed children, but I was filmed by the Ancient Alien series. Coolest paycheck I ever got in my life, you guys. I didn't even want to cash it. Like Ancient Alien series, season 16, I don't know. But they did a thing on Star Children, and so I was on there. And some of the other speakers there were talking about the black-eyed children. So what little I know is that they are also psychic children. Don't forget, there's all different kinds of people in this world. I'm sorry, I haven't channeled quite a bit about that, but I have heard of it. I know that they are here. It is a real phenomenon, and I'm sorry, that's all I can tell you about that. Thank you.
Hi. I have this, my heart is beating very, very fast.
Great, so is mine.
I'm just so alive. And I just feel this need to express my gratitude towards you.
Thank you.
And hug you from your angels.
Well, come on. I love getting hugged. You're feeling it. Yes, you are. I know. Because I grew up that child. I grew up that child that was different, that was lost, alone, fearful. So I know it's hard. That's why I was complimenting Tom, to get up here and tell your truth and talk about who you are. It's really difficult. I'm so glad that I connect to people. It makes me very tearful. Thank you, ma'am. Please come find me. I want to hear your story.
Hi.
Hi.
I have 2 biological daughters, and I've adopted 4 children with special needs. And
you look so rested. I have 1 child. I haven't slept in 11 years.
Well, and they're all.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all.
Oh, yeah, special
and
needs.
I see blendings of the rainbow in all of them.
Yeah.
So is that kind of true, too, that they can be blended? I can see
Oh,
some
absolutely.
of different things.
Through our transitioning energy, I apologize for not making that clear, but we are all moving towards crystalline energy, and that's absolutely right. So they are moving towards that crystalline, which is very close to the rainbow with the multicolor auras, absolutely. And they're special children. Special needs children are spiritually progressing more quickly. Just as I told this lovely gentleman over here, I kept getting a message from his angels. I said, forgive me for stopping what I was doing. I needed to get that message to him. But they're here for a reason. They are spiritually advancing more quickly, and you yourself are a brave, strong, lovely soul to take that on.
But I want to tell you, I was doing it to be of service, but wow, did I get something out of it. They have taught me so much.
Well, that's because you've been around here a little bit longer than the rest of us. You've been here many times. You're more spiritually advanced. Sometimes more spiritually advanced people can take on more difficult situations. And I find very spiritually advanced people are also always about being in service. So I don't know if you've ever done a past life regression, but I bet you have some amazing things in your past life. I do. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. I'll be going to your site, seeing what else
Wonderful.
I can learn.
Yes, I have a contact page.
Yeah, they're all grown now. The youngest one's 18.
Oh, yeah.
And, but, I mean, we never stop learning. We can never, it's always something new
Lessons
can
that we learn from
to
them,
share.
right? Yeah, we think
Thank
they're learning lessons. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I had a question about the psychic shift that's going to happen.
Right.
That is it going to be not only tied to all of the people, but does it have some environmental components also?
Right. Okay, so she's talking about some shifts that have been happening. I had channeled like 2013 was a big year for us. And listen, the shift doesn't mean that California is going to drop into the ocean. We're all having problems right now. A lot of it, you're seeing it in the weather, but we're having an energy shift, and it's changing everything around us. And it'll continue to happen. I get 2025 is another big year where big shifts are going to happen. But things are happening every year with our environment, with ourselves that are going on. But we are moving to a better place. I know sometimes it seems worse. I think the Northeast has had the worst weather that they've ever had. There's more hurricanes, there's big droughts in California. A lot of big things happening right now.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yes, it's happening now. Bigger things happening in 2025. That's what my angels have been telling me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good, thank you.
I'm a fellow Stephen F. Austin graduate.
Oh, yay, go. I love that school.
Unfortunately, I graduated 2 years before you were born. But
Okay. You still look young and handsome,
Well,
sir.
thank you.
You do. It was a great school because it was very quiet, and
Yeah,
I
it is
loved
a great
it.
place. I
Loved
did
it in
too.
East Texas.
it
Yeah.
was still a pine forest when I was there. But
Yeah, still is, still
Yeah.
beautiful.
Anyway, I wanted to ask you what advice or what you would say about someone like me who is a spiritual incompetent. I've never had any kind of psychic, spiritual, or I've never even seen a UFO.
So,
that I can
sir,
measure.
are you telling me it was your wife that told you needed to get off at that exit because she could feel it and you didn't listen to her?
No.
I was talking
No,
to you.
I got no messages whatsoever.
You are.
Except being griped at for
You
not
are
taking the exit.
receiving messages, and I encourage you and all of you, go to YouTube. There are so many free sites that walk you through meditations.
Tried that. Been there, done that. No
Oh,
good.
have you? Okay, and you're still not getting anything.
Nothing.
All right, that's okay.
Well, I'm
God,
sure
what
it's
can I-
okay. I'm just wondering.
How can I encourage you? Well, you do have angels, you do have guides. They are getting messages through to you. And maybe you don't even realize. I told you earlier, when we get messages from our angels and guides, and every single one of us here does, it's like your own thought going through your head, and you've got to capture it and look at it. It's like maybe you're thinking, I need to exit here, but you push it aside, but it's actually your angels talking to you. So you think you're talking to yourself, don't you?
No.
Okay.
I get nothing. I'm telling you.
Because
Nothing.
sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself, but it's my angels and my guides. Keep practicing. I keep encouraging you to practice because you do have angels and guides, and they are trying to give you messages, just like everyone here. Hi.
Hi, I'm a light worker grandparent, paying very close attention to the raising of my Indigos grandchild.
Oh, yes.
I have a question for you. Is there a correlation between the non-physical extraterrestrial entities that are trying to guide our planetary evolution and these generations of psychic children?
Okay, so a great question. Thank you so much. I was actually in the van with Tom, who spoke before me, and Linda, who's speaking tomorrow, talking about the O-negative blood and the aliens cloning us. Linda was talking about that. That is not true of these specific light workers. They are here from other parts of the universe. They haven't been cloned or really have nothing to do with aliens. You would think so, but they don't. They are simply here on a group mission to help us change and to help change this world and make it a better place. So I do not get any feelings about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Sir?
I've often heard that many children are spiritually or intuitively gifted as children, but once they grow into a rigid cultural belief system, those gifts are often lost.
Yes.
Does that happen with indigo and crystal children as well? Could there be many more that we might lose along the way due to rigid cultural belief systems?
It's true. And it's true of all of you. All of you were very psychic till you were 4, 5, or 6. And then if your parents didn't encourage you to keep practicing your psychic ability, you all lost it. But it's still there. You can still get it back.
How?
Okay. Just like I was telling the kind gentleman that left, You have to practice meditating. Go onto YouTube, Google it. There's so many free sites, guys, that'll help walk you through meditations. You know, I'm a runner. I'm training for a half marathon, and I keep saying I could train for a marathon if I wanted to. I don't want to because my knees are good and I don't want to go there, but I could if I wanted to. Every single one of you could be just as psychic as I am. You've just got to practice, 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 and don't give up. And I myself lost my gift because I was so fearful of it. And it took me years to keep meditating and keep trying to get it back. And finally, the light switch went off and I got it back. So I was the same person as you, lost it for a while, and it took years. It took a long time. I had to keep practicing. I went to classes. Whatever city you live in, everyone's got some sort of spiritual community center where people give classes. Even as a psychic, I went to classes. So keep practicing. Yeah, thank you, sir. Great question.
So part of the answer to my question might be relevant to his story, but my husband has an older son that is not biologically mine. And on occasion, he comes to us and says that he can see stuff and that there's someone talking to him. So we don't really know how to react to that.
Right.
And if he does have a gift, I want to know like how to support that and how to
Right.
not let him be afraid, because sometimes he's scared. He's just...
I understand. Thank you for being open to him, first of all. Let me just go, oh, did I do that? I don't know how to get it back. Okay, so I'm at www.starchildren.info. I have tons of free things that I wrote on there to help you. But recognizing that your child may be different and may be psychic is always the first step. So thank you. You need to listen to them. Go onto my website. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. But there's all kinds of things. I mean, I could spend an hour sitting with you and telling you, but go on the website. There's a bunch of free information that'll help walk you through just that. And believe them. Please know that they are seeing and hearing things just like you are. We're all psychic. Some are just a little bit better than others. And also on a side note, just make sure you haven't brought something into your home, like a ghost or something. Make sure your energy's still good. But
we did just purchase a 109-year-old home. So
oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay.
That was back in November.
Okay. You know, not all ghosts are bad.
Sure.
I tell people that all the time. Sometimes we cohabitate with them and live peacefully. Sometimes they watch over us, just like our angels and guides. But if you notice bad things happening in your life, please call Joey Korn with a K. Joey Korn with a K. If you cannot smudge or fix things, and again, people do it in different ways.
Okay.
I have sage I burn to help clear. So if you feel like you can't clear it, hire a professional like I did, because even as a psychic, I couldn't get rid of one thing.
Okay.
So, but they are psychic if they're seeing the ghost in their house.
Okay.
All right?
All right, great.
But make sure it could be an angel or guide, so kind of figure that out as well. Thank you so much.
Is there tips for distinguishing between a guide
One is bad, one is good.
on your site?
Yes. One has messages of angels and inspiration, and one tells you to kill your parents. You know. Well, I'm sorry, but just remember, not all ghosts are bad. The ones we got in our house were terrible. Nancy, how am I doing on time, my love? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I have an unusual problem. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter who I feel is highly sensitive, highly intelligent, very knowing.
Yes.
She is a very difficult adult in her life.
Yes.
She's trying very hard to parent them.
Okay.
They're very resentful of her knowledge, and I just want to know how I can support her.
Okay. First of all, you need to be her angel on earth. I always say you just need one person to understand you, and it was my grandmother for me. So know that you're that one person and you're so important. Be careful not to step on their toes. You want to make sure the parents don't X you out of this child's life because they do need you. Please remember that souls that have agreed to come here from other areas of the universe specifically choose difficult parents or difficult situations younger in their life. It's so they can connect to this 3D world, this dense energy. She's connecting. Is it a little girl?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she's connecting. Try not to worry. Be that one person that loves her, understands her. Be her safe place to fall or her safe place to come to. Be understanding that that soul did pick those parents and picked them for a reason. I know they're resentful. They may stop her from spiritually advancing, but eventually she'll get through it. Maybe she'll be 20 after she moves out. I mean, I don't know when, but she will get through it. She will find her footing. Trust me, it happened to me.
Well, can I tell you one tiny thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
She's taking yoga.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding. Yeah.
She's 3.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
her mother found her in her room, looking in the mirror in prayer position, practicing namaste,
Yeah.
but that didn't make sense to her.
Yeah.
So she was praying in the mirror and saying, instead of namaste, she was saying, no mistake.
Yeah. Oh.
And I thought,
That's so sweet. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, she's here for a reason.
yeah, no mistake.
Yeah. Love her, support her, understand she picked those parents and that she is going to be okay. I mean, I said earlier, if I could go back to little Nikki, I'd say, listen, kid, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. It'll all shake out.
Okay.
So tell her that. Everything's going to be okay. It will shake out.
Thank
She
you.
will do what she's meant to do. It may be later in life, but it will happen, and her angels and her guides are with her, helping to make that happen. I know I'm out of time. Thank you for the few stragglers that hung in here. Thank you so much. Please come find me. Tell me your stories. I want to hear them. Thank you, guys.